Hello, everyone, and welcome to Carlsbad Seaside Academy Q&A webinar. My name is Jorge Espinoza. I'm the principal, and want to welcome you back, or those of you who are here for the first time. But we're taking the questions that we received from Tuesday night and try to address them in this presentation. So the other night we had over 450 families that watched our webinar. Over 200 questions were presented to us, and in the end, we still have one inspiration, and that's our kids. We hear you, and we want to try to address your concerns and your questions. So tonight's plan is to address those questions that pertain to everyone, to those questions that pertain to elementary school, middle school, high school, and then talk about our next steps. So all students in Carlsbad, we had a number of questions that pertain to the entire group, so let's address them here. So the questions that were posed is, what are the student-teacher ratio? Will students get one-to-one to support? How many instructional or work hours per week? The student-teacher ratio was based on the average class size for the entire district, and last year we operated at Seaside with an average class size, a student-teacher ratio of 26:1. So students will get one-to-one support, of course, through their individual meetings, and student teachers will be working with students to make sure that they understand and are successful in this program. As far as the instructional hours per week, instructional or work hours per week, that's going to be depend on grade level, and we'll address that as we progress through this presentation. The curriculum is the same as the brick and mortar schools. It is Common Core. We did not purchase an online program, so it is not like Apex, and it'll differ from distance learning from the past, from the spring, because we have the time and the space to plan it, and we're going to work hard before the beginning of the school year to make sure that students have all the tools needed and the protocols in place to be successful in our virtual school. As far as the number of teachers that we hired, that's going to be based on the number of students that come into the program. We currently have two teachers at the secondary level, and we'll staff based on the number of students that decide to make the transfer over here to Seaside Academy. Let's talk a little about the learning experience. The students will have the benefits of hands-on experiences, because they're going to be doing a lot of the work at home and doing long projected projects and getting regular and recurring feedback from their teachers. As far as socialization goes, yes, it'll be virtual. Students will be in small groups in their classes. They'll be working together. We'll do virtual science labs. We will also provide EL support for students that need it. As far as students that have accommodations through an IEP, we will have a case manager working with those students to make sure that those accommodations are made. And if needed, we will offer the offer of FAPE. Will address Carlsbad Seaside Academy's virtual school. Students will get whole class, small group, and individual learning. And when the sessions that our teachers are going to be made, they'll be live. They'll also be recorded, and there'll be some non-digital learning as well. I mean, there's nothing better than growing up with a good book. So we'll support the whole student through engagement and connection and building that community that through our school year. Like I said, that socialization, and we'll be there through through our field trips, and students will also have the opportunity, especially at middle school and high school, to take those electives. We are working, at the elementary school to see if we can make some connections doing that. That's going to be be determined as we progress to the beginning of the school year. Students that want to participate in extracurricular activities, such as going to football games or playing sports, those things are all available there. Students that want to participate in that in their home high schools are welcome to do that. We'll bring in guest speakers both virtually. We're going to create learning opportunities beyond the classroom, and also work on students' personal interests and develop learning in that way. Kind of following the Google model, where their employees can pursue take 20% of their time and pursue specific interests. So we like to emulate something like that, and because deeper learning can happen when a student has a vested interest in what they're doing. The transfer logistics. Is there, the question is there a limit to how many can transfer? Right now, the transfer window is open, and we're taking everyone that wants to come over up until July 24th. So you will know what the district opening plan is on July 22nd. So there will be time for you to make that final decision on that day. If the schools don't open, no students won't be automatically enrolled in Seaside Academy. Each school will have their own plan to do remote online learning. If if students stay at their home school and don't like it, can they transfer to CSA? And that's a question that's very interesting, because basically we're going to staff on the number of students that transfer before the transfer window. So that's going to be to be determined. And is there a chance my students won't get into CSA? Basically, if your student is in before the transfer window, we're going to accept them into our program. We will follow the same calendar as for all the district. And when it comes down to live class meetings, will they be required? Okay, we understand things happen. The internet might go down. There might be other things that happen. We strongly encourage coming to the live class meetings, but if they don't make it, those live class meetings will be recorded, and students will have an opportunity to connect later on. Parents, we will work on a virtual forum for you to connect. Zoom seems to be very powerful, so I look forward to having a parent meeting via Zoom as we get everybody in place. As far as evaluating students' learning, there will be, we will use tests, but we also use a lot of project-based learning. Students will be evaluated on long and prolonged projects. We will, of course, report back on report cards, and because the teachers will be able to develop one-on-one, the teacher will be communicating with you throughout the school year about the progress of your student. As far as materials, we will provide the district adopted textbooks. There'll be online availability of textbooks. We will get you the materials that you need in order to be successful at home. As far as student-teacher engagement per day, we're going to address that a little later on in this because it's going to be specific to different grade levels. And then when we do get to meet in person, we will follow the health and safety guidelines, and we will have the correct materials to make sure that everyone remains safe during these times. So we're going to move it on to answer those elementary school questions, and I brought in my elementary expert, and I just want to welcome Katie Rivera, and Katie will talk about the elementary school student experience.
Hello, everyone. Before we get into your questions, I wanted to take a minute to let you know I understand your mixed feelings right now. I'm also a parent of an elementary school student in Carlsbad. I understand the deep desire to provide the best elementary school foundation for my child. I worry about his safety if school reopens in the fall, but I also worry about his social emotional health if I keep him home and participate in Seaside Academy. We love our homeschool, but want to provide him with consistency in the upcoming year. I'm hoping to answer many of your questions this evening, but I know that I cannot answer every question. From the teacher's perspective, please know that I am committed to helping you and your child feel comfortable in this environment. I understand that for many of you, this is a solution to the current situation, and you worry about the future for your child. Please know our vision at Seaside is to work closely with you and your family to provide you with a positive virtual school experience. So with all your questions, I tried to organize them as best as I could into categories to answer them in the best way possible. So our first topic is instructional minutes, and the kinds of questions that you posed were, what are the minutes of instruction, are the meetings required, and will instruction be live? So when thinking about this, we have thought about students will participate in 2 whole group class meetings each week. They will also meet in smaller groups throughout the week to work on specific skills. So depending on the age of your student, a week could have a total of about 3 hours of meetings. This would be divided up 1 hour of whole class meetings, 40 minutes of math, 40 minutes of reading, 40 minutes of writing. But those will be broken up throughout the week so that each day your child will be meeting with their teacher in some capacity. We are asking that as much as possible students attend all meetings that they are assigned to, because especially those meetings that are for the small group instruction, those are the times where your student will be able to really work with the teacher and work on those skills that are specific to their needs, and also work on challenging them and adding extension activities for students who are demonstrating strength. So on this slide, I have included a sample schedule. Now, obviously, this is just an idea, and depending on the age of your student and your student's teacher, this may change a little, but the idea would be that on Mondays, there's a 30-minute whole class meeting to go over the entire week with the students, letting them know what's due, when the next meetings are. Then on Tuesday, they would have 2 different small group meetings, one for math and one for reading. Then on Wednesday, there'd be a small group for writing. Thursday would have, again, math and reading. And then Friday, there would be one more writing group and another whole class group at the end of the week. And then also knowing that there will be additional meetings added for those science and social studies portions. So the live instruction will be done in the smaller group settings. We're at this point not scheduling long blocks to teach the new material. So the next topic I have is teachers. So how will teachers teach the students? Will students get one-to-one support? How many teachers will be hired? What will the student-to-teacher ratio be? Where are the teachers coming from, and do they have experience with elementary school students? So our vision is that lessons will be taught mostly with the use of video instruction. It will not be live, but rather a video that can be viewed at the student's pace. The time meeting with the teacher in small group will help build upon the skills taught in the lessons. During the teacher's office hours, they will be available to help students in a more of a one-on-one capacity. The hope is to have enough students enrolled to have one teacher per grade level in elementary. But regardless of how many teachers are hired, there will be a team of elementary teachers whose experience is in the kindergarten through 5th grade environment. And the plan is to have the same ratio of student to teacher as in a brick and mortar classroom. And all of these elementary teachers are currently elementary teachers teaching in Carlsbad, and they're going to be transferring to Seaside just like your students are. So we are all in this together. So the next topic is daily schedule. There were several questions about what a day would look like for your students specifically, how many hours they would spend doing the schoolwork. So I have here a possible student schedule. The exact times will obviously depend on students' age and abilities and when your family chooses to start their day. So this schedule says that on a Monday, you would have a class meeting around 9 o'clock to overview the week. That could be followed by math, where you would have a warm-up, you would watch a video, and then your student would do some practice in that. And that could take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the concepts that are covered and the practice required for them. Then around 10 o'clock, you could have your students switch to language arts. There'd be, some video instruction and practice. And again, that would probably take closer to about an hour between the instruction and the practice, and also including some time for some read aloud or different language arts activities. And then maybe switching to writing again, for about 30 minutes, there will be some kind of video overview for that, and then some practice that the students need to do in that area. And then around 11:30, working on some science, social studies, and then that would be roughly a day that you could have. If you notice, it's only about 3 hours long. Now, depending on the age of your child, that may be too long. You may want to add additional things that you'd like for your student to do. But the main thing is that teachers will work with their class and families to develop a grade level schedule. Kindergartners can plan on working roughly 1 to 2 hours per day, with fifth graders working a little bit longer because of the skills that they're working on and their attention spans. With other grade levels being somewhere in between there. So, of course, there will be some variances in these times, and this is only an estimate, but this would give you a little bit of an idea of what you could expect for your student. The reasoning that it doesn't need to be the full 6 hours is because your student is going more at their pace, and they can go faster if needed, or they can only focus on one subject if needed. But again, all of these schedules can be worked out with your child's teacher specifically. So the next topic was socialization. Asking questions like, will my student have the opportunity to socialize with their peers? Will they be able to go on field trips? Can my students go to their home school for activities? Can my student participate in art, music, and PE at their home school? Now, obviously, a lot of this depends on the guidelines that are released, because we want to make sure that we're keeping all students safe. But we are hoping to offer opportunities for some students to be able to come in a small group capacity while following all of those guidelines, if that is something that works for your family. Also, we will be having those small group meetings online to allow students to build relationships with other students. And additionally, students will have the opportunity to work in groups to continue to build relationships with their peers. So the idea is to keep them in these small groups as long as possible, so that they're really working on building that core group that they know and trust, and that they can continue to feel comfortable with. So we are hoping to help facilitate having students join field trips as often as possible. We would also like to be able to offer experiences that you could bring your child to, of course, pending safety guidelines. Students will also be allowed to participate in activities happening at their home school. So we really want to help students, as long as they're comfortable, continue to foster those relationships at their home site by taking part in those activities. In terms of art, music, and PE at their home school, this is something that we still need to look into. We would like for it to be a possibility. There are just some different logistics we would have to work out for this. We are also talking about how to offer those kinds of things through the elementary curriculum. So our next topic is about curriculum. So we wanted to know how it would differ from remote online learning in the spring, if it is Common Core, and if we would be purchasing new curriculum. Also, if students would be provided with the manipulatives that they needed. So the idea behind Seaside Academy is that it provides choice for families who feel more comfortable with the virtual learning environment, whether this is because of health concerns or it is because your student thrived in this virtual environment. So at this point, the idea is that students and parents will know exactly what to expect each week. They will be given specific focus on how to learn online. Teacher feedback will be given daily, and teachers will have office hours in which they're available to meet with students one-on-one and help them in any area that they need help in. as far as the actual curriculum we are using what the district adopted benchmark or journeys and Go Math to provide our instruction. And based on grade level and teacher discretion, manipulatives can be provided based on what is needed to meet student needs. All right, our next topic is demonstration of learning. So questions in this topic included, will elementary be practicing writing or only typing? Will there be tests? And what about that state test that comes for 3rd through 5th grade? So students will have the opportunity to practice both written and digital skills. The consumables that are used in the brick and mortar schools for language arts and math will be available for students. There may be some materials that we occasionally ask parents to print to help with expanding on the lessons, but especially for those kinder and 1st grade students, writing down their answers is an extremely important part of their education, learning those fine motor skills, and we are very much aware of that. So we do want to provide students with those books that they can actually write in. There will also be opportunities for digital skills where students are typing, but again, we want to make sure that we're helping students the best way possible. So if they need to be writing their answers and taking a picture of them, then we're completely fine with that. Or if they would like to do those activities in a digital format, that is great too. So students will have tests that are based on the curriculum, and they will also have projects that demonstrate their learning. So those kinds of projects could include maybe a kindergartner recording themselves finding different shapes in their house, or an older student partnering with another student to have a debate about a topic that we're learning about. So demonstration of learning is not only tests, we're trying to find creative ways to have students show what they're learning. For state testing, this is not something that we can answer at this time. It will depend on what is mandated by the state. This past year, there was no testing for any grade level, so we would also not have state testing. So this last section is very important unanswered questions so far. So how much parental involvement is requested or required? And what are we doing for advanced learners? So parental involvement is dependent on the age of your child. A kindergartner will need much more parental involvement than a 4th grader, but all elementary students will need some level of parental involvement to help with technology and completing assignments, and also time management and making sure that students get to their meetings at the right time. And then for advanced learners, students who demonstrate strength in areas will be given extension opportunities with their peers, and teachers will also work with students and parents to help meet their academic needs. So I know this has been a lot of information, and I'm sure you still have questions that I didn't answer today. So if you still have questions in the elementary level, please let us know, and we will be happy to address them. Thank you.
So now we're going to move on to middle school and high school, the secondary level, 6 through 12. I asked Marissa to address these concerns and questions. So with no further ado, Marissa Thompson.
Hi, everyone. I know that a lot of you were at the webinar on Tuesday. I know that there are probably some families who are new to our discussion about the new Carlsbad Seaside Academy. And so I just want to explain a little bit about my background in education, and then also my connection to this community and CUSD. So I have been a teacher at CUSD for 14 years. I've taught every level that we offer at Carlsbad High as far as English goes for freshmen, sophomore, and juniors, everything from English language support to AP, so everything in between. I also am an instructor at the University of San Diego. I'm an online instructor there. I have been for the last 5 years. I'm an instructional coach supporting teachers in their innovative practices for the district. And then I also am a writer and speaker. I discuss education. So the other thing that I really want you to know is I am a parent. I am a working parent, and I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. I too have been working from home with a 4-year-old climbing on me. My 6-year-old loves school, loves her teacher, loves her classmates, thinks her principal is just the greatest guy on the earth. And I understand what some of us experienced this spring. And through no fault of her teacher, my daughter was just really sad, went on the Zoom meetings and just simply put, wanted to be with her teacher and her classmates, and was terribly sad that she could not. So I understand that feeling too, to the point that she's actually making up assignments this summer and telling me that my teacher says I need to do this. So I need to do this today. So I get it. And we're all watching the same meetings. We're all asking the same questions. We all have very real concerns. And we've been working for months, but especially for this CSA project, we've been working for a couple months on creating a solution that is positive and offers connection and clarity and consistency in a time of very real unknown and uncertainty. So when it's time, it will also be a place of academic growth. And we want that for our students. We do need to address what's been going on, and we will need to continue to address that. But we have every intention of providing a quality education for your student, and in a way that supports them in an extremely difficult time. So I'm excited to share the answers with you. I collected a lot of questions, and I'm happy to answer them, and I'm glad that they come with a positive response. So while we all have individual needs, and our students have individual needs, and some families have very real and specific concerns, the questions that I'll be addressing tonight are for the public at large. So let's get started. So first things first, whenever we refer to secondary, I want you to know that we know that this is for middle schoolers and high schoolers. I know I'm a high school teacher. I'm credentialed to teach anything from 6th grade to 12th grade. But when we say secondary, we are absolutely including our middle school students. So I also took Spanish in middle school. I took 7 or 8 years of Spanish in school, so I totally understand the desire to get that started in middle school. And we do, of course, have good news. So when it comes to the world languages, when it comes to the middle school electives, yes, you will have students that will be able to take the electives that they want to take, including world language. If it's not offered at CSA, your student can take the world language and elective courses at their brick and mortar school. So we will make that happen. That it has been approved. That is a yes to electives. As far as PE, yes, we have independent PE, so they will do kind of like an independent PE. They will do things, and they will keep an activity log and do assignments that are associated with it. So we will satisfy the PE requirement. As far as your students being ready, I understand. I've taught freshmen. I take great pride in being the very first teacher that they have in high school, that they come into that first period class, and we address all their concerns. And it's an honor. So I want you to know your student will be prepared. Your student will be prepared for high school. Especially in an environment like the one that you're talking about for the next 8 months. Self-management is one of the biggest skills that a student needs. Self-advocacy, being able to ask a question, being able to monitor their own progress, being able to take the guidance of a teacher and take advantage of the support that a teacher is offering. All of those opportunities are being offered explicitly in this experience. So I feel great, actually, about how prepared a middle schooler will be going into high school. If this is their 7th or 8th grade experience, I feel actually really, I think this is a great option. So as far as will they be prepared for honors and AP courses? Yes. I've taught honors English for the freshmen and the sophomores. I've taught AP for the juniors. We of course will work with students to make sure that they are prepared, and we will design our course structure in such a way that students who want to be better prepared or considered an advanced course, they will be in a small group. We will be in small group experiences. They will be in a small group, and we will make that happen. Of course we will. And the same thing if we're talking about a student who's coming into their freshman honors course, yes, we will. And we know that there was some time lost in the spring, but we made it all the way till mid-March. So the students, yes, will need to review some skills, and we'll need to practice, but that is the same every year. So will there be a little bit more of it? Maybe, probably, but that's what we do. That's the job. And so we will make sure that that's offered. We'll make sure that your student is prepared. I really don't want you to worry about that part. Okay, next. Okay. Will my student be able to participate in their teams and their electives that they like to participate in? Yes. So if CSA does not offer it for the 2020-2021 school year, the students will be able to take those courses through their brick and mortar school. Yes. Yes. We are parents and we are teachers and we work with students and we are used to working in a community on campus. So we understand the importance of socialization. Yes, they can go to the games, they can go to the dances, they can go to the events, they can go to the field trips. Yes, all of those things. As far as Chromebooks, they can keep their Chromebooks. We're going to provide the technology. If they already have the technology, great. If not, we will make sure that your student is prepared and has everything that they need in order to be successful. So yes to the academics, yes to the socialization, yes to their interests. We are all about student interest. There's so much learning that comes with it. So yes, yes, and yes.
Thank you, Marissa. That was quite extensive. And let's talk about the seniors.
This past spring was really hard for the senior class. And I know that people have worked tirelessly to make that a special experience for them. And we care very much about celebrating our students. So as far as our seniors for the 2020-2021 school year, yes. They can attend the dances. They can attend the special events for seniors. They can do all of those things. Yes. Can they participate in the graduation? Yes. Okay, so we know that this has been a very trying time, and the juniors are looking at the senior class and what the senior class just went through, and I completely understand, as does the district. We understand, yes, to all things senior related. I hope that helps. Okay, so for our high school students, same situation for the middle school students. If CSA does not offer the course that you want, the course that you need, you can take it at the brick and mortar school. Okay, so you would take whatever classes through CSA, and then those specialized courses that you want to take, yes. We are not in the business of limiting students. We want them to pursue their interests. We want them to be excited about their learning. They absolutely can take the electives. They absolutely can take the AP courses. They can take the honors courses. We can offer a lot of them at CSA. We will know more which ones when we are able to get our staff. Okay, so as soon as we know that, we will know which courses we can provide for the students. Anything that we cannot provide for your student, they can take those courses. They can take it at their brick and mortar school. So yes, same thing for world language, same thing for ASL, same thing for the engineering, same thing. Yes, okay. At some point, if you're taking all of the specialized classes, then you're just doing the brick and mortar school. So, but are you taking classes at CSA and you need to take one or two over there? Absolutely, go ahead, enjoy. We are excited to offer that to you, and that has always been the case. It's my understanding of CSA, and that will remain. So, will my student be able to take their scheduled honors and AP courses? Yes, same thing. Same thing for PE. So it is an independent PE course. They will do an activity log, all the health or fitness requirements, all those assignments, they will be done throughout the semester. So yes to the courses. I hope that helps. Okay. Can my student participate in their sport? Can they be on the team? Can they be in their VAPA classes? Yes. Yes, we can say yes to that. They can do speech, they can do theater, they can do band, they can do music, they can do choir, they can do all of those things. If CSA does not offer it, they can take that course at the brick and mortar school. We can do that. That is happening. And so I want people to rest easy on that, knowing that their students' interests remain intact. And that provides a lot of that community that we all really need right now. So definitely, students can take the courses, students can participate in those communities, students can participate in those activities. So yes. NCAA? Yes. So we're all set there too. I know you've heard it several times tonight, but just to make sure that we're clear, yes to all the other things too. So can they go to the games? Yes. Can they go to the dances? Yes. Can they do the special events? Absolutely. Can they go on the field trips with their specialized course that they're taking at the brick and mortar school? Great. Will we be offering that? That's a goal. As soon as we are able to open things up, as soon as we are able to do things together, that is absolutely a major goal. Will they have the materials and technology that they need? Yes. So yes to all those other things. I know that slide's pretty simplistic. It just says yes, but just yes. Yes. We will take care of that. And yes, we want them to feel connected, and we want them to have those experiences as soon as we are able to safely do those things. So yes.
So we've answered a lot of questions. Answered a lot of questions in the affirmative. As we continue through the summer and get ready for this upcoming school year, we do have a purpose, and that is to provide that quality educational opportunity and providing that flexibility and that meaningful curriculum. And this is for all students. And this is, through this program, especially, we want to give the students this opportunity and in a safe environment, and especially for those concerned about what lies ahead. So we get it, we hear you, and so we have a purpose. Our mission for the rest of this time is prepare and get ready for the school year is our mission. Also is to create a challenging and nurturing distance learning environment, and guide our students and teach them how to be self-reflective with our engaging teachers and give that flexibility and so students can demonstrate their learning in a variety of different ways. So we're really excited about being able to do this for our kids. We're working hard to be, to create live and interactive instruction that will be asynchronous. Teach students to be, to be independent. We want to streamline this communication. We're going to provide tools that the students need so they can be successful in doing this. And this is the process that we're going through this summer. So we've come this all together, and we want to see our students who are socially, emotionally healthy, love learning, they're confident and articulate their values, beliefs, passions, and future plans. And this is what I want our graduates to be. I want to be every grade levels to start thinking about these things and looking at the path that they choose. And I feel that having this type of environment will be good for kids to do this and will provide that stability for this school year. And I just wanted everyone to know is that having a vision like this is important to for our kids. So the next steps, the transfer window is going to close on July 24th, and the first day of school is going to be August 25th. So parents, you do have some time to make that decision. You have time to think about what's going to be best for your kids. And I just want to tell you, as a parent myself, I know that this has been a really trying time. I have 2 teenagers myself, and to make a decision like this and what's going to be best for them, because this breaks away from tradition. And I just, with the help of the staff and the students and the support of the Board of Trustees and leadership here at Carlsbad Unified School District, I've been given this charge to provide this opportunity for all of you. And I know this is a really tough decision. I know many of you don't want to leave your regular schools or high schools, but you have to think about the greater, consequences of, getting exposed to COVID-19 or what have you. So I know you don't take this decision lightly. I do want you to know, and many of you have reached out to me, and I've tried to answer those emails and phone calls. I did have good news today, is working, for those of us in secondary and to play sports, that I will be able to work with the NCAA, and so the student athletes can continue to be eligible, and I think that's big news. So we're moving forward. We've got a big project ahead of us to make this happen for opening up grades K through 12. I just want you to know that we're dedicated to doing this. We're in this together, and I'm here to help. Please call me if you need something, if you have another question. I appreciate the time. I know this has been two long webinars, and I just hope that we've been able to articulate and answer the questions that you've had. But again, if you have another one, please reach out to me. Thank you very much. I hope this helps, and I hope that we can make a good decision for you and your family. Thank you, and good night.